Hey guys, how y'all doing? Johnny here and welcome back to the channel. Today we are stepping into the cryptosphere, so to say, and into the Sorare side of things. And also, along with that, once again, thank you so much for 1,867 subscribers so far. We are getting closer and closer to the 2K that is desired. So I appreciate that very much. Thank you guys. As always, guys, anything said in this video is not financial advice. Please, if you do go ahead and jump into anything that is crypto related, do your own research. It's extremely important because at the end of the day, this is real money that you're going to be playing with. So as always, do your own research. Today, guys, we are looking at 26 completed referrals. It is going to be happening soon. We have around 5 people who are currently building up towards the 5 items needed. And if they are done, we will be getting ourselves a unique item. Just real quick, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has used our link in the description down below to sign up for Sorare. I'm just very, very thankful for you guys doing what you do. It really means a lot to see so many of you guys helping us out to reach that 30 and get that unique item. So as always, much love. If you want to get involved, link in the description down below. Today, guys, I want to kind of focus on how I build my lineups. How I did actually already build them, because obviously the game week has already started. And I also want to update you on a few things that have happened in the club. So let's go straight into the club and let's discuss a few things. First of all, for this game week specifically, I needed another goalkeeper in the limited area, and I've gone ahead and brought in Centna, who is going to be up against an easier opponent today. Mainz is currently 10th in the league. I mean, I don't know if they're playing today, but nonetheless, Centna is coming into the club. We have spent around 340 euros on him, which is actually a lot. But at the end of the day, I was kind of happy bringing him in because I wanted to get that weight off my shoulders. I was talking to a lot of people in this past week about Sorare. And there's one guy that is specifically very knowledgeable in the German community. Niftio, his name is. And today, he won a super rare Upamecano. So you can trust this guy when it comes to basically going ahead and looking at your club and things that you should improve and all that stuff. So once again, I'm extremely thankful for all these people in the Sorare community coming through and sharing their knowledge and opening their arms and welcoming everyone into community like Nepenthes and myself. A lot of YouTubers now coming into the Sorare community. I have seen Huge Gorilla. I've actually helped him build this team. So he has his team set up now for All-Star Rare this week. I've tried my best to help AA9 Skills as well. A lot of people are getting into this community, and it's beautiful to see. I really like it. And yeah, man, I'm just glad that I'm here from the start and that I'm going to be hopefully one of the better or bigger content creators when it comes to Sorare. Not better, let's say bigger, right? Hopefully we can get there. It will take some hard work, but I'm willing to put that into it because I personally am genuinely in love with the platform. So going back to this thing here, Centna. We have bought him again, as I mentioned, for 347 euros. The reason as to why I bought him was because I needed a goalkeeper to finish one of my lineups. Otherwise, the lineup would have had a DMP. And it is actually a very, very strong lineup that I have a lot of faith in. So I didn't want to risk missing out on potential rewards for the week. And nonetheless, I am looking to constantly improve my gallery in the club. And I feel like right now, I'm slowly getting to a stage where I'm going to be finished with my limited items in terms of things to bring into the club. So I am maybe looking to pick up a few players here and there. And then, yeah, then we'll be done with the limited lineups. I'll have plenty of players to play everywhere. What I want to focus on, though, is going to be the rare side of things. And on the rare side of things, we have finally got him. My wife did want a Musiala. She wanted us to invest into him and actually put her own money into it, and we have done it now. Basically 50-50. We're sharing Jamal Musiala. Actually, you know what? She's probably holding 60% of him. Let's put it that way. But yeah, we had to pay around 4,300 for Musiala. I can show you guys right now how much he usually was going for. There's a new feature on Sorare data now, which shows you a yellow dot here, which kind of tells you where you bought your players, which is actually amazing. So we have bought Musiala. When we look at all-time records of him, as you can see, his price is constantly ascending. We have bought him at around 4,350. the last highest buy of a card that is actually from the last season is for 5,311, which really surprises me. That guy definitely overpaid. I should have been a bit patient. Maybe he got a little bit hooked into the hype of him getting some really good scores lately. But then again, I personally can't say that I'm not hooked to the hype of Musiala. I personally, and as a Bayern fan, love the kid. And I'm so happy that we have him now. He is going to be an item that we're going to be holding on to for a long, long time. Someone that I have full faith in, especially with the injury situation at Bayern Munich, constantly seeing players like Leroy Sané and Kingsley Coman constantly getting injured, and Thomas Müller obviously getting on with age. Musiala can replace all those players. And for that reason, I feel like this is a really good player to have, and I'm really looking forward to using Musiala in the upcoming years. Everyone go down into the comments and say, welcome Musiala. Just a little heads up on the crypto market as well. Just recently, crypto has dumped down below levels that were scary. Technically, we were hoping to hold this area right here around the 40,000 mark. And sadly, we have dropped down below now, and we're at 38,700 for Bitcoin. Ideally, the situation that we need to look at when it comes to Bitcoin and the crypto market in general, this is very important. We have to close the weekly above, if possible, around 39,600, something like that. So if we do that, things are going to be all right, hopefully. I mean, I'm hoping. Just generally speaking, like 39,600, something around that number is going to be very important. Ideally, we want to see Bitcoin bounce back up into these ranges, but that's going to be a tough one. There's not a lot of demand going into Bitcoin right now, which is obviously a shame. So if you go into Google Trends right now, people are too scared. And when you look for search and you search for Bitcoin, you can see right here, and just crypto in general, you can see that the interest has kind of leveled off lately. People are too scared to get involved. And that kind of tells you that maybe either now is a good time to buy, or you can hold on and wait for more downside. If this breaks, if this yellow line breaks, we're probably coming down towards the 30s here, around these ranges, and battling it out in there. But yeah, hopefully that won't happen. I mean, it is technically not a bad entry right now for ETH. I am personally looking to buy some ETH very, very soon myself. And as you guys can see here on my purchases, I bought ETH around these levels, 2,910, 2,769, and 2,508. That is my latest purchase. And I am looking to buy a little bit more in the upcoming days because I'm genuinely believing in Sorare, and I'm looking forward into bringing in more rare items to the club. I want to build my rare gallery up because, as you guys know, right now, we don't have necessarily that many players that I actually truly trust in. Someone like a Remco Balk has to leave. I have to get rid of this guy. And then also Hudemakers, who is actually quality but got injured now. There's no real news on how long he's going to be out for, so I'm kind of struggling with that one personally. So if you guys have any clues or any tips on what's happening here, if you're from Netherlands, please let me know, because I think he's actually absolutely quality for the under 23 lineups. And talking about the under 23 lineups, I personally am looking to build an under 23 rare team in the upcoming weeks. Hopefully that's going to be something we can do, because right now, as you can see, we have a very good defender. We have a very talented player here in Musiala that we have for the under 23 lineups that most of the time will at least get subbed in for Bayern Munich, at least I hope. And even if he does play in a starting lineup, he has amazing scores. Then Hudemakers here, who normally is someone to get around 50 points at least in his latest performances. I was looking forward to use him as the extra. So that would leave us with having to buy a goalkeeper and a forward. When it comes to the forward and my plans on what I want to do, I have lately been looking a lot into this man right here, Openda. I think he looks absolutely ridiculous. I'm very, very interested in him. I'm going to make some offers for him. Yesterday, I made some offers to Panakuk, or whatever his name is right here, and he rejected my offers, even though I probably offered more than what he has put him up for right now. So I am looking to bring in Openda into the club. Ideally, I want to make it happen, but right now I can only make it happen with trade offers, including players and such. And talking about that, here's something that a lot of you guys might not know that I want to explain to you as well. How do you actually make trade offers? So for example, if I want this man's player, right? If I want this Openda, I have to go to the man's account right here, Panakuk, click on him. And then I go to the right here and press trade, right? Then I enter, if I want to, let's say I want to give him like 1,000 euros, right? He values his item at around 1,970, I believe. So that would mean I would have to probably add in players around the worth of 800 to 900 euros that I already own that he might be interested in taking, plus the money on top of it. So then you press next. Then you choose your own players. So for me personally, it would be something like Remco Balk. It would be, I guess, Koundé limited because he's injured. So I would love to let Koundé go. So for me, Balk, Koundé, that would result in around 250 plus 300 euros. Those are the prices that the players are going for. So technically, those are the things that we could do. And then you also press next on this one. And then you say, I want his Openda, right? I'm not going to do it right now, but this is how you make trade offers for players. So just a little bit of a heads up. And we have just sold a player that we have gotten from the referral rewards. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. This man has just left the club for, what is it now? 4 euros? There you go. He has left the club. So that is another sale that we have just made. Talking about sales, let me show you guys how many players I've been selling. I've been mainly all the time you will see me list my players at the lowest prices. So I definitely recommend you guys, if you want to pick up some cheap players in terms of limiteds and stuff, keep a lookout for my account, because as the referrals are coming in, most of the time I do get players that have no place in my teams. So I tend to list them at the lowest price and somehow way below what they are normally going for, and people pick them up here. So if you want to pick up some of these players at certain points, go ahead and do so. In no way, shape, or form am I saying buy my players, but I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm just listing them up because I have no use case for some of these players. So I'm putting them way down low in terms of their price, because obviously I got them for free in terms of rewards. So I'm not looking for monetary gain on these ones. But yeah, that is what I've been doing. Maybe I should be thinking about doing giveaways with these as well, instead of selling them. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments down below. I might do some giveaways, but I will only do them in the Discord. As always, Discord link in the description down below. I think we have just surpassed 100 people in the Discord, which is amazing to see. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, let's talk about what we want to do in terms of, or how you want to go about building your lineups for the upcoming game weeks, and generally how you should be going ahead and doing your lineups. I personally highly recommend, don't go and do your lineups on this page, right? Where it will show you like going in here, right? It shows you here, edit, and then you go in here and you see your players on the left, blah, blah, blah. You do all this. Don't do that. It doesn't give you enough information on your players and their opponents. So personally, what I like to do is I like to go into something called the lineup builder in Sorare data. You can't see it because my camera is there. I mean, you do see the lineup builder. You basically press on your name on the top right, then a pop-down menu comes up. You press the lineup builder, and then from here, what you do is you start building your teams, right? You add these players to your teams. So, for example, for my All-Star Limited, I can use Bono. I can use Sergio Gomez. I could technically use the Ketelar, because those are legit the only players I have available for this midweek game week. Okumo, I believe, is not necessarily back yet from his injury, but maybe he might be at that point. So I'm just going to put him in there. So technically speaking, I would need one more player to be able to take part in All-Star Limited, which kind of tempts me to go ahead and buy one, but I don't know if Okumu is going to be playing. As you guys can kind of tell here, the Belgian league seems to be playing midweek, so maybe there might be some purchases done in that Belgian league, but at the same time, they might be inflated right now because they're going to be the only ones that can play midweek, but also Bono playing at AFCON. That's going to be like the round of 16 quarterfinals, something like that. So that should be quite interesting. Morocco against Malawi. I am assuming that Morocco wins that one. They have some very, very talented players. So yeah, that is how I do my lineups. And then in the top right of the screen, you can't see it again because of my face. Let me just go ahead and drop down the camera. There's this arrow where you then save these lineups. Then you can go into your saved lineups and basically see what you have put in for these game weeks. Now, let me go back to the game week now. What type of teams have I lined up for this game week? Why is it not showing it right now? Hold on. Let me go saved game weeks. Oh, you can't go back? Okay, well, I guess I will have to go, or let's go into SF5 results. There you go. Okay, so these are the lineups that I have built for this game week. And as you build those lineups, it gives you a lot of data, right? It gives you a lot of data when you do build these lineups. So once again, let me go in there. You can see here, Sergio Gomez playing for Anderlecht, 4th against 10th. That is Cercle Bruges. They have Didion in goal. That will also impact my goalkeeper. I'm assuming he's going to have a bad game because obviously Anderlecht is quite good at what they do. And then we have Okumu's squad, 5th against 15th. It showcases you their current form, how much percentage of their games they've actually played. 80% on Okumu, obviously, because he has lately been out in the last 2 games, I believe. The Ketelar, it's 2nd versus 1st, so that's going to be a massive matchup. We could maybe expect an amazing performance, but at the same time, it is kind of more likely to see that it will be a very tough matchup where he might not be able to score that many points because it's such a contested match and it's such an important match. People will be a bit more scared to take risks in that matchup, so we might not see the Ketelar do as well. But those types of stats you see all the time when you do jump into the lineup builder. Now, for this week, the lineups I've built, a lot of research has gone into these, and a lot of decision making has gone into this as well. So basically, Niftio, the guy that won Upamecano, came around and gave me a lot of tips for this week. And again, I'm so thankful for these big Sorare accounts coming in and sharing their knowledge so I can share them with you guys. So basically what he said was, fullbacks in big games, normally statistically speaking, they don't score as well. And just because of that, you're probably better off getting the best type of central midfielders in your team. Like fullbacks and wingers, technically, statistically, don't do as well in these big matchups. So for example, Hoffenheim against Dortmund. Why did I put these 2 guys into my all-star team? The reason behind that is I wanted to concentrate my best players into Champion Europe. He basically told me that in All-Star, you're playing against thousands and thousands of managers. In Champion Europe, you should focus your best players into that one so that you can go ahead and maybe win some of the biggest rewards, because Champion Europe gives you out the best types of rewards if you do succeed in that one. So for me, I basically lined up a B squad for the All-Star Limited. Now, Paul Lopez is a very good goalkeeper, but the matchup that they have is not as favorable as the one of my other goalkeeper that I've gone for. Paul Lopez, which obviously is Centner. That's the reason I bought him. So Paul Lopez replaces Bono in my All-Star Limited because Morocco does not have any games. And David Raum and Bebu up against Dortmund. It could go well, it could go bad. A very uncertain game. So I have them in this lineup, seeing what happens, not expecting anything necessarily. Then we have Rakitic here, who's up against Celta Vigo, which is technically kind of a favorable lineup, kind of a favorable matchup for Sevilla. They are up against the 13th place in the team. Sevilla obviously higher up in the league table, but Koundé being injured, Diego Carlos possibly leaving the squad. A little bit of messy situation currently at Sevilla, where I didn't feel too comfortable putting him into the Champion Europe. And Busquets just in the last game in the Cup got an assist, and he's somewhat of a consistent performer when it comes to against like an Alaves team. I see him shifting the ball around right, left constantly, and Barcelona holding most of the possession in that game. Hence why I have put him into the squad. So am I expecting a massive reward from this team? No, not really. So going down to the All-Star Rare, this is where it all comes down to, again, the matchups. Technically speaking, I love this lineup, right? I am not against it. Theo Hernandez is amazing. Didion has done really well in the last game. Musiala is such a big talent. I am pretty sure that he will get minutes against Hertha BSC. Bayern tend to do well against Hertha, especially now with how bad not how bad, but like their current situation with Hertha. So that's going to be quite interesting. Then Rongier has come back from his injury, got subbed on in the last game, and I assume he's going to be in the starting lineup against Lens. And that is hopefully Lens. Is it? I'm not too sure. Anyways, that's the 9th place team, if I'm not mistaken. And Marseille is 3rd or something. So it's, again, a little bit of a tougher matchup. And then, of course, the toughest of them all, Kramaric against Dortmund. He does get consistent 45+ points for me. But at some point, there has to be that moment where second half of the season, Kramaric comes back, because he does extremely well normally in the second half of the Bundesliga season and pops off. But for some reason, this season, it hasn't happened the same way that it has in the past. And I kind of put that down to the fact that they have a lot of attacking players kind of taken over the positions that Kramaric normally used to play in. Currently, I see him a lot on the defense. I see him a lot with the high work rate, working and doing things for the team, fighting for the team, not necessarily getting involved into the attack as much as I would like to see him get involved. So I hope that he finally has that breakout game where he gets an assist or a goal, because the games that I've been watching from Hoffenheim, he has been struggling like big time. So hopefully he will do better. But even though he has been struggling technically, not scoring goals or assisting, his scores haven't been terrible, especially in games where Hoffenheim have dropped points as well. So I'm okay with this team in terms of ETH threshold for this week. But with these matchups, as you guys can see, like AC Milan against Juventus, I'm not expecting any wonders from this squad. I would take 0.02 ETH if possible right now. I'd love that because I want to keep building up. But I don't expect many things from this squad. If it does well and Musiala all of a sudden is in a starting lineup, well, that's a banger. We can maybe look at like a tier 3 reward. That'd be great. But going down here, Challenger Limited, I'm basically banking on the fact that Trabzon kind of turned their form around and that Hamsik is back playing. He has been injured in last game. They didn't want to risk him. And they kind of think that he might be ready for this Galatasaray game. Obviously, having Turkish origins, I looked into some of the Turkish news pages to kind of understand what the situation is with Hamsik and him possibly playing. I have put together this team, the Trabzon stack. At some point, this team will bring me rewards. I will keep on listing them up. But of course, the Trabzon stack has become kind of popular as well. So I'm kind of hoping that with Okan Koçuk's consistent great form lately, we can get some extra points there and maybe beat someone else that has a full Trabzon stack. I'm not very confident in that, but we'll see how it goes. Then going down, this is the second team, or maybe even the best team that I have my most faith in. Here's the thing, though. I am not 1000% sure Jiku is back playing because Ghana has been kicked out of the AFCON, as you guys know. They have been very bad in that one. But yesterday, I saw Thomas Partey, who plays for the same national team as Jiku, playing for Arsenal already and picking up a red card, right? He didn't play the full 90. I think he got subbed on and then picked up a red card. But Jiku is such an important performer for Strasbourg that I think he might be in the starting lineup. Because for centre-backs, it's not as physically exhausting as it would be for a midfielder that constantly runs up and down the pitch. Centre-backs are a bit more set in their position, and you don't expect him to run around for 90 minutes all the time, right? So I'm hoping that Jiku kind of plays in this lineup, because if he does, I have so much faith in this team. Mainz is up against Greuther Fürth, who are terrible in the Bundesliga. Jiku with Strasbourg up against Bordeaux could be a tough matchup. We'll see how it goes. Then Parejo and Moreno, these guys have technically an easy matchup where I expect them to do amazing things. Both of these guys, I'm expecting at least 70 points from them. And Fekir has a favorable matchup as well, in which last game he did get an assist, and I'm hoping he carries on his form. So for that reason, I am very hopeful for the Champion Europe team. I think this team can do bits for us this week. Going down to the under-23s, this is another squad where obviously I've spent big, but I have high hopes. Like, I've spent a lot on this squad, but at the same time, I'm hoping that we will be getting back a lot of rewards from this team. With a team like this, I am looking at like podiums and stuff, right? Normally, if these guys perform, you will have the chance to possibly push for something like a podium. But for that to happen, obviously, we need the boys on their best behavior. And we need Sinisterra to start. Here's the thing. Sinisterra was injured, and just recently, like 2 days ago, Feyenoord started tweeting about him being back in the training sessions. They also are saying things like hashtag neck versus Feyenoord. So they're kind of indicating that he will be playing in that game. I just don't know if he's going to be in a starting lineup. Hopefully he had some good training sessions and he will be able to play, because if he plays, as I'm kind of sure all the rest of these guys will be playing, we have very, very favorable matchups. We have Feyenoord against NEC, who are like 9th in the league. We have Openda against a 13th placed Groningen, and he has been on great form. In the cup game, I think he got a goal and an assist. The Ketelaar in the last game scored. They're up against Standard Liège, who I believe are 14th, as Bruges are currently 2nd in the league. Sergio Gomez has a little bit of a tougher matchup, of course, against, I think that was the 7th placed team, if I'm not mistaken. But Sergio Gomez tends to do really well on the AA scores, so I still kind of hope he will do well in that sense. And Diogo Costa has been terrible for me lately, but at the same time, I'm hoping against the 15th in the league, Porto can finally pick up a clean sheet. And if everything goes our way, which obviously is a massive if, with a fat question mark at the end of it, we could maybe go ahead and win some things. This is one of those weeks where I am very confident, and I feel like I hopefully will not be disappointed. In terms of live reactions, yes, I will give you guys live reactions on the next video to watching some of these games. I'm going to be watching the Hoffenheim-Dortmund game, so that will be happening. If I have time, I'll be watching the Sergio Busquets game here as well against Alaves, see how he does. And of course, I'll be watching the Juventus matchup against AC Milan. That will be included in the live reactions video if I find the time to do so. I really hope I do. And again, Kramaric involved in the Hoffenheim-Dortmund game. That is technically the biggest game for us this week, where I'm basically banking on Hoffenheim to upset Dortmund because I just haven't seen them on top form lately. So for the first time, we have not included Marco Reus in the team, and somehow I'm feeling like it's going to cost me. Anyways, we move. Then I sadly don't have access to Turkish League games, which is a huge L because obviously I have a stack, so I would love to watch that game. But I do have access to La Liga games and Ligue 1 games, so I will definitely be watching these two's games. So Parejo and Moreno, that match will be definitely watched. The Mainz game, I'm not going to watch my goalkeeper. It's not that deep. But the under-23s, again, sadly, don't have access to these games, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I'll try and see if I can get reactions to these games as well. But basically what's going to happen is I'm going to sit here, watch the game on this screen, and record my live reactions and write it down when something happens. And you guys will be able to see it. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to make for some great content. But yeah, guys, again, plans moving forward. Under 23 rares, we need a striker, Openda, Xerxes. Those are the two that I'm personally looking at. And we need a defender. No, not a defender. A goalkeeper. And that's going to be expensive. Very, very expensive. So we'll see how things go. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I appreciate you all. And as always, do your research, guys. Don't trust in anyone, not even me. Go ahead and do your research. Thank you guys so much for watching this video once again. And again, huge thank you to the 26 people that have completed a referral. We're only 4 away from getting the unique. Much love, take care, and peace.